Hello, everyone! Welcome to the fourth set of matches in the NEBVEMBER tournament. It's 5 girls, 1 Grungler versus Collapse the Electron. I am Nekoboy Blue, and my co-caster is Scape GT.
Hello.
So, we have the teams squaring off here. Do you want to introduce your side, Scape?
Yes, I'm ANS, right? I forgot already.
Yeah, you're on ANS
all right,
today.
we are starting here on Gold Rush as per normal with this tournament. Team 1 is Collapse the Electron. Playing ANS, we have Surazal, Ambient Lamp, Trojan Shadow, and Pazuzu.
Team 2, OSP, represented by 5 girls, 1 Grungler, consists of Mav625, Quinto Bean, Cheese Slayer, and Nuclear Ari. Or, no, Nuclear. Nucleari? Nuclear? Was it nuclear?
Nucleari is what
Nucleari. That's what it was.
Yep,
Thank you. I knew it was something like that. All right. Anyways, on the drop, we're seeing double Battleship from ANS. You seeing that up top?
Yep, double Battleship play. I'm seeing a couple of Keystones with the same naming convention as the BB. Potentially 22 might be a rail and 23 might be beam, just based on where they're positioning, although we can't tell that yet. I'm seeing a couple of Beamstones Seaside. Yeah, it looks like they're committing to the double BB. I'm seeing also a Levy as well from someone on Collapse the Electron.
Strike support might be a Levy combination fleet with some Beamstones. We saw Beamstones taken en masse in the previous set of matches for the Gold Rush opener. It did not work out well as ANS could not establish early advantage.
Taking a
OSP?
look at... Whoa, okay, they're using the weird text things you can do in the text boxes now.
Oh, yeah.
I'm seeing a Monitor Ball, couple of Acellos, a Journeyman, and liners, and an Acello up top. The Acello, no, never mind, not up top anymore, repositions closer to the Monitor
deployment.
Ball, looks
2
like.
Acellos, looks like 2 liners,
it's up
the
there.
Journeyman, and the Monitor Ball. All right, so lot of heavy frontline on both teams here. The double Battleship is a lot of beef to get through. Liners, Acellos, and Monitors is quite a lot of beef on OSP side as well. Going to be last ready up before we get into this match on the drop. We'll go through the fleets real fast. Scape, you can take ANS from the top here.
Yep, now that I'm remembering which one to do, that shouldn't be too big of a problem for me, hopefully. Getting a Beamstone in deployment here. It is not a Greed Beamstone. It has at least a little bit of point defense on it, that being a little defender on the top. We will get to this one when we get to the player who's brought this.
I got a Battleship on the drop, so walk me through what you want.
Starting, Ambient Lamp brings the Levy we saw on deployment here. We have a mix of Bombers, Sundials, and Tontos here for a nice bit of spread and capabilities. It looks like they're bringing... Ooh, this might be a half-cap fleet. Wait, inches
Definitely
of
looking like they got the numbers.
No,
with
this is inches of leeway. This is Trojan Shadow's half-cap, half-carrier fleet. That is sees Atlas, sees Boxer, sees Comet, sees Dagger, and Spare Atlas. So yes, that is 4 gun cappers, 1 cringe capper with heavy carrier support, entirely built, dedicated to killing light cap assets on the OSP team and providing them with the openings they need to take points. I do know that Trojan Shadow is absurdly skilled with this cap fleet. We'll see how Ambient Lamp does with it. Pazuzu is bringing one of the 2 battleships we saw here. This is the one without the Destroyer Escort. We have a VLS-2 backpack with less STM-200s than I would expect, considering what we've seen in the tournament so far. Comms Jammer on the side. Escorting it is
Quad track correlator on that as well.
Not escorting it. We have a Beamstone on the seaside here. It's Quad TC Spy. Did I miss that? Yes, it is. Very nice.
Yeah, Quad TC Battleship.
Surazal running a much more skeletal BB here. No backpack on this to make room for the 2 destroyers it has. This one is standard parallax radar. Still quad drive, though. Very nice. The 2 escorting destroyers, they're both Beamstones. One of them high on this east side here, flanking for that rock out in the open there. Very nice for deterring pushes. And the other one looks like it's deploying lower nearby, probably looking for destroying E-flanks in conjunction with the other one. Last but not least, Trojan Shadow with the triple Beamstone camp fleet here. We have 1, 2, 3 of them spread across the map. 1 E, 1 Boxer, 1 C by the looks of it. We also have, rounding it out, one cringe capper, and looks like the rest of them are full gun vets. Yeah, even with defender. All right.
Good count of Beam Destroyer here. By total tally, that's 6 Beam Destroyer. If ANS establishes an advantage, they will be very hard to dislodge. They've got a good Corvette count as well with the cap fleet and a half there. Double Battleship making up their front line. OSP to contend, we're going to see that Cheese Slayer has come out with a 450 liner and another 450 liner. These are supported by backpack talisman launchers. That's going to be a lot of SCM2, if I had to guess.
Pre-dispersed 450 liner is going to be really nasty against those battleships if Cheese is able to get angle.
Bloodhound early warning is going to catch one of the battleships on track already. Actually going to catch both of them in the cone there. They will know what is up, judging by the size of that. Swinging the early warning, looking around now.
Yeah, Cheese Slayer's sweeping for orbital bombers right now. The orbital bombers are a pretty popular play on this map. They want to make sure that there are none up there that's going to sneak up on them.
Potentially also searching for railstones, which can be trouble for those Ocellos. Mav625 comes in with the Journeyman here. Journeymans are restricted to 1,001 points to avoid some issues we had with the hull. We're going to see that this thing is equipped with a bunch of these Barracudas here and a skiff or two. Looks like they have got the Wake package on those, so they can do some searching. The rest of this cap fleet is going to consist of a multi-mission tug moving its way to Overwatch 8 point, which is already getting aggressed onto by 3 corvettes, a flight of bombers, and a flight of fighters. This is a very fast ANS push. We really shouldn't have given players the ability to name their ships. How do you even pronounce this thing?
Just don't even pronounce them. Just call it one of the...
Yeah, anyways, triangle shape is going on to the A point here, one of these fringe cappers. There's a second multi-mission tug guarding the E point here, trying to ward off some caps there. T-20 chaff box shuttle moving around towards Seaside, one of them underneath the map, one of them on the E point proper capping, one of them kept in reserve, and then the last one is the cringe capper going on to A point. That just eats torpedoes and dies.
Do not hover over those ships with the funny names. Oh dear, that's really difficult to read. Anyway.
Yeah, right, that's going to be a thing. Anyways, Nucleari here, 450 liner, not liners, 450 Ocello is going to be scoring off against the 450 of the battleships. Battleships with a quad TC will be able to engage this effectively. Ooh. Same with the Bloodhound track provided to those Ocellos.
Ocellos are
operating dispersed, one low, one high.
Guarding the monitor ball.
Monitor ball with an Ocello makes a lot of sense. Monitor ball trying to position towards A point. A point goes in the hands of the ANS as they commit to that that 3 Corvette rush here works out pretty well for them. OSP picks a slower fleet to play here. Not having anything fast or overwatching that point is going to be difficult. 6 Beam Destroyer is a lot to deal with, especially when they hold this 3 cap. If ANS just holds their ground now, they will win this.
Right.
Quinta Bean's fleet, briefly going to go through here for sake of brevity. C90s, T30s on these. Some of them have plasma, 2 plasma in here, which is a little bit of a vulnerability, as if those 2 plasma ships get taken out, those battleships will be feeling very comfortable. Bombshells pause fired on the A point, I believe, here, trying to take out those threats. A little bit of 450 across the top of the map.
Although A point is already in the hands of ANS pretty firmly at this point.
Yeah, killing off those cappers is a nice thing to deprive ANS of their assets, but at the same time, taking a look at the board right now, there is 7 plus 4... 7 plus 5 of those,
One of Ambient Lamp's gun cappers on A, you can see it's the one that's hidden, C's Dagger, is friendly firing itself somehow. What?
Huh?
The shells are ricocheting off the wall and hitting itself. Like, it's taking damage. Its damage control teams are repairing things.
Hang on. What?
Ambient needs to cease fire.
Where are we looking for this? A-cap, you said?
On A-cap, you see C's Dagger. It's hidden behind the spike close to the hole in the wall on that angle there. It's friendly firing itself with the RPF. Fascinating. I did not know that could happen.
I've never seen something happen like that before. It is hurting its belly gun, yeah.
Yeah, it's taking damage. It's legitimately taking damage. Anyway.
How the heck?
I genuinely do not know. Initial state of the board right now, like you said, ANS takes that 3-cap advantage. With the Beamstones, all they need to do is hold. OSP has a slight frontline advantage with 3 fleets to ANS's 2. We'll see how the Beamstones compensate from that. Right now, I think it's up to the carrier players to get the openings right now. We'll see who begins winning the carrier engagements, because if one team
taking double fire from 2 battleships at this moment, still dodging very well. Radar drive in this thing is enough at this kind of, what do you call that, like 9-10 kilometer mark here. They are not taking any damage from these incoming shots. Just happy to orbit dodge all day.
Absurdly narrow from the front. Orbit dodging makes them very hard to hit, and these BBs do not have proper angles yet. Cheese Slayer
450 liner pokes out, immediately going to get retaliated on. Its shots are going to go wide as well. Both teams ineffectively tickling each other with 450.
The battleships know that the liners are the primary target. They're the ones that are able to get bite on the most. One of the battleships, Pazuzu, has already swapped over to the liner, getting the damage in while it can against a target that's much easier to land hits on. Cheese Slayer is just going to be popping in and out with the 450 liners. The other one pops out now, committing onto Pazuzu right now. That angle is HE being fired by Cheese, at that angle, most of that's going to ricochet. Most of it's going to miss, actually.
Yeah. I think they had HE loaded, so most likely just fired what they had.
Neither team...
They may get an impact or two here if they're lucky, maybe taking out the bullseye on the belly or possibly hitting a track correlator. Still, not that much damage
really
can be dealt.
has the angle that they need to start getting crossfires, although Surazol's cheaply built BB is starting to eat some pretty aggressive damage here. Multiple of its ammo elevators are already down.
Briefly talking about some tech here, I'm noticing a pair of coil toes just hanging out on some of these ships around the board here, just a way to see off this light strike wings.
Yep, you can see a lot of the aggressively pushed up beamstones have fighter escort.
So Mav coming in with interesting tech here. So that beam destroyer up high between the E and the A rock. Spectre Flight is coming in. They've got a bunch of Wake high explosive size ones, 4 of them per fighter, along with a pair of KBU-15s. That's a strange strike tech that I don't think we've seen on display.
Occasionally. If you look at Mav's carrier, you can see that we have multiple different types of S1s in here, likely with different loadouts and missiles. Those ones are likely supposed to hit cappers that are trying to dodge with the Wake. They get behind and hit from behind. Although against a Beamstone,
that would make sense, yeah, against drives if they can get the flank.
It should be worth noting that CTE-22, the one that positioned itself really aggressively in that rock between E and B up high, did get spotted out by the Acellos for a brief moment, and it is very likely that OSP knows exactly what that is. Frontline engagement going off right now. You can see the battleships. It's going to be a slow
Frontline
engagement to start right now, as
not really
damage is
developing anything.
It's going to add up eventually, but for now, it's kind of a stalemate right now.
Take it back. CT-11 actually taking a not insignificant amount of damage at some point. Loses a bunch of the small lockers and elevators. That thing got clobbered by something.
Off angle, yep, and loses a lot of its restores there. That's pretty unfortunate on a ship that already has pretty low restores to begin with. Looks like the battleships are mostly trying to pull back a little bit here. The monitors...
Battleships, in this case, engaging the enemy. They're going to want to try and draw them back. They have a 3-cap advantage right now, so they want to pull the OSP frontline into range of their beam destroyers, or otherwise just trade 450 fire and draw out the game.
The monitors
and it's already about 100 points up.
The monitors going a little bit forward, pulling a little bit back. They know that if they push out through the open like this, they're going to be pretty vulnerable. They do know about that beamstone up high, and they know about the other ones probably spread around the map. They are probably worried that they're going to push into one. Meanwhile, on the C flank here, Cascade Squadron with Mamba in support does deny a little sneaky C-cap attempt from Mav here. They do torpedo bomb
Bastion Flight getting hit pretty hard by those coil guns, but coil's also running low on the ammo count here.
Yeah, Mamba
Both
is down
fighters
to
now
one
out.
Fighter is empty. Yep, Bastion's going to clean up here, get Cascade down, and kill Mamba by the looks of it. There is Nova. Nova needs to RTB. That one has no bombs in it, too. Ambient Lamp does have a gun capper in the area, which might be able to help the engagement here. I have a feeling that Cascade's going to be able to return to Squadron. Nope, those are more missiles
Cascade far enough ahead, but the missile might say something about that.
That is Wake. Oh, the Wake is acquiring on the high
Gonna
burn.
find it and not quite get the damage.
Cascade needs to run. Sees Comet, the capper there, is attempting to provide support with RPF. Chases off Bastion, looks like, with the defenders. Cascade turns around. Ambient Lamp perhaps not microing that
Cascade potentially trying to bait them back in before they run out of fuel here.
Yeah, they just need to leave. You need to preserve your bombers.
Yeah. So, taking a look at the board right now for OSP, despite their initial kind of like rollout, they've not really gone anywhere. Their sensor awareness is actually quite lacking. Cheese Slayer elects to go for the double up build on this tug. It does mean that they can get the track correlators with the Bloodhound and the early warning, but they can fire one at a time here. Like to go with the track on those battleships. Sensor awareness for OSP is really lacking right now. They're trying to use Mav's multi-mission tug as their scouts to try and fish out where these destroyers are so that the pentamonitor over here is able to comfortably move up.
Flanking
that said,
over
though,
the top, Griffoon Squadron maybe trying to hunt the ASF support. Griffon? I don't know how to pronounce that.
I think that's Griffin, right?
No, Griffin has a... No, is that Griffin?
Is that Griffon or Griffin? I don't know what that. Anyways,
it's whatever. Potentially looking
Griff
for
Squadron. There we go.
Oh,
the Griff ball.
The Griff shot. Yes.
Oop! Rocket strike from Spectre in the back.
Those were the S1s. Core the drive of C's Boxer, and it is now under fire from an MMT and a gun shuttle here as Mav starts putting the pressure on Boxer. There are multiple beamstones in the area.
Beam
to try to
Destroyer from
deny
Trojan
that.
Shadow might be able to find this. Taking a look at it, the reactor is down, so scouting will not be provided by that Corvette. There's another one nearby that could be the eyes. We see
There
very
is
effectively in tournaments Beam
Ambient Lamp.
Destroyers having Corvette spot for them, and then the beam follow-up.
Ambient Lamp is actually playing this cap fleet pretty much identically to how Trojan would and playing it really well. You can see Bombard Squadron is waiting there, ready for the push. Those bombers are there just to eviscerate any cap attempts. Ajax, you can see flanking towards the hole in the airlock, is probably going to sit somewhere near A just to be a quick A denial tool when necessary. This is, yeah, Trojan is genuinely scary to play against with this cap fleet. They know exactly what they're doing with the bomber support. And so far it's coming in clutch for them right now as, oh, look at this! Surzal gets a beam on the monitors. The monitor positioned up top in a very aggressive position pays off as it gets a little bit of damage into one of the monitors here. Manages to core
this
out
has been
its
the risk
front
of
gun.
pushing at this stage. Monitors are going to survive that. CTE 22 loses all but its beam in the entirety there. That is not ideal for ANS, as now they have ratted out their location, did not get a kill with that beam destroyer. A couple of
Still
fighter
did
engagements
damage.
happening across the board.
In all fairness,
OSP trying to develop Seaside as well with a multi-mission tug moving towards the
Although
Corvette there, but a lot of
that Corvette's going to get killed by the MMT, but there are multiple assets in the area to defend C at this point, and without support, I highly doubt that MMT is going to be able to do much. The monitors now come under fire from the BB as the BBs swap fire to them. Unfortunately for the
bad
BBs,
spot to be found with the monitors.
No, they're not
they are
coordinating their
reinforced
fire,
drives.
though.
They're not going to go fast.
Battleships are not coordinated. Oh, there they go. Now they're coordinating their fire. They both lock on to Mare Pass up top. It has been target locked and is under fire from a ton of 450 barrels here. The
Front thrusters knocked out on that, losing its retreat ability. 450 exchange happens now as the Acello and the Liner are going to come to the aid of these monitors. Monitors having a rough time here as the monitor ball has just not been able to contribute to the fight. They're outranged and unable to really push across and get into the brawling distance they want.
Takes full advantage of Surazal's battleship push into the monitors and gets a pretty nasty hit into CTE 11 there. We can see a lot of the top. A lot of the top was already missing, but that still adds damage.
Still, damage adds up. Also, thruster degradation on these battleships has not been insignificant. Double Raider drive will start to cook you a little bit there.
Pazuzu swapping fire to Cheese Slayer's
fighter engagement on east side. Sunder is jumping.
Sunder jumps is rather jumped by multiple squadrons. Sunder starting to lose a lot of their fighter count here. Flanker is Ichi Frag. That's offensive. These bombers from Bombard, you can see, Ambient Lamp is already flanking Bombard Squadron out of there, recognizing that it is
Impulse Flight coming to their aid now with SDM2.
200s. Support onto these craft here. How many will those kill? Down to 4 from Flanker as Sunder recommits with the 20 mil. 3 to 2. Impulse with the support with 20 mil.
Sunder will look like it's getting wiped here. Impulse still good for the fight.
Links out to... Oh, those intercepted the... Whoa. Oh, anyway, Surazal with the beam out on Cheese Slayer.
Disconnect happening from Trojan Shadow randomly.
We are already
not
probably
good.
too far in the match for us to do a rehost here, as it looks like Pazuzu, the battleship player, gets command of Trojan's Beamstone Cap Fleet here. Unfortunate timing
That's going to be a complication here.
We'll see how ANS recovers from that. Unlucky for ANS,
manage this, but...
At this stage in the game, it is way too late to do a rehost here. Flanker actually does manage to mop up the rest of those Tontos there.
Beam out on top of the map as the Acello gets caught. That is a damaged beamstone, so it's going to cook itself on battle short here.
Not doing much damage here, although it is still something.
Does take out an Ox steering and 2 thrusters, so not the worst.
Liner and the Acello are going to be focused on dealing with that beamstone, while the battleships are going to be able to get free damage in. The battleships now being pushed aggressively from multiple sides here. This is exactly what OSP needed to do. Push a frontline fleet across, try to get crossfires on the BB. As you can see now, the BBs are pinned in one spot. We will see if they are able to properly react to that. If the carrier
battleship's
is able
giving
to get...
broadside now as they have to rotate towards that left flank that has been opened up. They can go down behind cover here and engage only one front, but that does mean that A point is open as Quinto surges forwards.
The rest of the map. Yep, Quinto is already taking full advantage of this flank, pushing into plasma range of Pazuzu's BB. Pazuzu diving down to cover, not wanting to take these double engagements. It will keep the battleships preserved, but it will mean that they can only control one small part of the map now. We will see if the Beamstones are able to compensate or if this is what's going to allow OSP to retake the points. C point
Multi-mission tug
here.
potentially getting struck on C side. Pops some AMMs here at the last second, but Ajax Flight is launching their torpedoes on it.
CMD Hodge going in. CMD, no track on the MMT.
Loses the track on as they flick off at the last second.
Ajax forced into evasive due to the AMM. There we go. That one has target lock. AMM's out. Ajax is committing and
goes swing and hit in the drive section, keeping this thing alive.
And reactor. Ajax, unfortunately, unable to secure the kill for ANS, although the Beamstone does know that that thing is there now. Remember that this Beamstone guarding C is, the two of them guarding C are in the control of the BB player, who is very occupied right now in the frontline fight. We will see if they are able to micro and regain control of the C point.
Monitor Ball deciding to not go for the A point proper, instead electing to try and throw hands against the battleship. Their nose guns are not on target yet. Could get some damage at this range. They've closed to 7.5 kilometers, which is enough that they can actually get some of their plasma onto target.
MMT engagement on Boxer here as the MMT finds one of Surazal's beam destroyers here. Chaff is out. These are Act Command Val. The destroyer trying to get into cover here to force these to Rock PD. STM-200's out to intercept the MMT missiles. It works. One of them down.
Attempt made, but I think they went after Chaff instead, and that's going to be a crippling blow to the nose of that Beamstone.
That's the beam down as the MMT is pretty free to push at this point. STM-200's into Lancer Squadron here to just clean it up.
STM-2s lose track, though, it looks like. Those were command launched and do not find Lancer Squad.
The Beamstones here are going to be quickly overwhelmed by the amount of ships pushing in. The MMT pushing with the gun capper here with the disabling of that Beamstone that leaves only one at close range, although it will
Adamant Flight might say something about this.
Immediately vaporize the capper here, and you can see Adamant coming in here will likely attempt to finish off that MMT, denying the B push attempt here. Meanwhile...
Torps out on Mav's multi-mission tug here. This thing is trying to go for that Beamstone.
Hodge, will it get missiles out in time? No, the Beamstone's going to kill it.
Missiles, panic dumping, trying here. Might get the kill on the bombers, but no, torpedoes and the beam going to
killed,
secure
and
that.
CMD loses track. The B push attempt from the light cappers is stopped there. The battleships have pulled back relatively into cover here. Surazal bow on to the push on the flank here, focusing on the liner. It is the ship that they get the most bite on. Meanwhile, Surazal is actually, not Surazal, Pazuzu, is actually committing to this seaside engagement here, putting more fire into Cheese Slayer's liner, which still maintains pretty...
I think that OSP's having a little bit of issue right now is Quinto's moved up and aggressed. The OSP's other gun line, consisting of Cheese Slayer and Nucleari, they have not moved up onto the A point here. They definitely could put some pressure on and with consolidating their firepower clear out those Beamstones, but have elected to not yet.
Seaside here, the MMT manages to recover, gets a surprise missile strike into Pazuzu's little capper here, snipes out the mag in one of the guns. Unfortunately, it's not able to return fire, although Pazuzu should now know that it's there and pivot that Beamstone into position. ANS
Interesting development is ANS just kind of getting boxed in now.
Right.
While they might not be able to kill the battleships flat out, they have definitely taken their favorable position and tightened the noose a little bit. Battleships forced to fall back here.
Ooh, look at
Giving
this.
ground may mean that they give up A.
Pazuzu within beam range of Cheese Slayer's 450 liner. The 450 liner busy with the battleships. The monitors unable to kill the Beamstone in time. The Acello pivots fire.
450
beam
now
out.
Hitting
They're
target. The beam is on.
Beam is out. That goes into the core
Hits the
section.
crane. Unfortunate. They're aiming. It's going all over the place. Does
no
not get a good burn.
No B short from Pazuzu. There's the B short. Reactor detonation.
B short goes, but a bloom is going to briefly illuminate
on
this thing.
Both sides. No, the destroyer loses. The destroyer goes dark. The destroyer goes dark and loses its target lock. Still
Destroyer
beam out.
lost its bullseye, now going to lose its effectiveness. The beam walks all over the place.
Are just committing onto this liner, taking full advantage of the damage that the Beamstone is going to do. That Beamstone is just going to battle short out its beam to finish this thing off, leaving just the Acello here on the B-side push. That is a significant loss for OSP.
Cheese Slayer can recover with their complex and storage, but it will take time.
Another
Their
Beamstone,
magazine is
the
down
other Beamstone
currently.
heals its beam and gets supporting fire on Cheese. That's a crossfire beam with 450 support. I have a feeling. Yep, there's drive down in the open. This thing is likely
too close, too greedily. Cheese Slayer could have pulled that another kilometer or two out there, but
still has 5 restores. The beam on Pazuzu's Beamstone is running low on health. No
Complex
target lock.
will mean that the ship can Lego brick itself back together, but it is super risky right now. Complex is critically low, and it's out of here.
Yep. Cheeseair loses their 450 liner on the flank. That is a significant loss for OSP right now. Meanwhile, Quinto pushing over the top with the monitors, attempting to put pressure onto the battleships to make up for the loss of Cheese's liner. C-point flips as Pazuzu's too busy with the front line to engage here. They do manage to get
Beamstone
Beam
will
out
collect on that briefly, but it goes out of range. It ducks behind a rock.
We will see if Pazuzu, now in command of this side of the cap fleet, is able to recover. A-point now being flipped as OSP takes it with a pretty much intact capper here, gets into cover.
OSP has rocket
Pazuzu
strike as well onto A-point here.
Pazuzu
They're going to try and clear this out.
Pazuzu loses the beam that was overlooking A-point. The beams go down. It's under a cello fire. Out in the open, target locked. That thing is really injured, as I believe that Protectorate is going to secure. No.
4 cap inbound with the A-point. Mav just barely drifted off point, needs to get themselves back on. Probably doesn't realize at the moment.
Are they going to pivot back onto the point or now?
Thinking it's just, there it is. There's the movement. Go. They just needed a little more inch. There is still a intact capper here that could restore its engine for ANS. They're just playing possum, though.
Torpedo strike onto Nucleari's Acello here. Aurora battle shorting its best, trying to kill this. The Killjoys attract the missiles.
Killjoy seduces with the Hodge. Command Jammer works at that range.
Is going to survive. Tyrant Squadron forced to withdraw. Bastion Squadron trying to clean up the Killjoys, although it's too little too late. Those torpedoes are going to miss. Bastion now committing onto, it looks like flanker now, trying to finish them off with the coil guns.
Aurora's and Sarissa is going to do some work against these fighter craft if they linger too long. Bastion attempted to be a penny there with the jammers, messing up the Auroras. They don't have their fire control locked. They are very inaccurate.
OSP does manage to capitalize off the push. ANS has been pretty much coalesced into the spawn here. They are retaking C, although OSP did hold a 4 cap for a bit. And you can see now Quinto with the monitor
C-cap
ball
is going to get contested by that multi-mission tug in a second here.
If Quinto pushes up any further, these monitors are going to be right on the broadside of Surazal's battleship here, and that's going to be really devastating.
ANS definitely feeling the pressure right now, as their beam destroyer count has been diminished. In terms of effective beam destroyers, there is still 1, 2, 3 on the board with intact beam. One of them is drives down and unable to attack at the moment.
They have multiple on the C point here. C point now being contested as the gun capper is still alive on the point here. Not broadside on to ANS's gun capper though. And ANS is getting really good shots into the broadside there. Not RPF, that's HE. That's not going to do as much damage as I think Pazuzu is going to think here. It's going to... High
explosive this range can add up if they get lucky with the angling.
The MMT with the support, Pazuzu needs to push those beamstones onto C there to
Beamstone going to step out here and go for the beam as they force the contest
has
out.
Strikes incoming. C might be denied as OSP might hold that. There goes the mag. The mag gets sniped out on the capper on C.
Interesting position with that. Normally don't see that snipe out there. You've seen the aux steering sometimes swapped around there. Get your reinforced mag smaller to avoid this.
Small bit. Anyway,
beam goes out to secure C point there briefly. That's a Comet is inbound. They've got Wake HE rounds, and that is a capper with engines on.
Ooh, they're off angle though. The maneuverability not enough to whip around. The MMT now committing onto the capper. This MMT, I believe,
Size 1 Wake I think this is a case of Wake Seeker. Oop, hang on. They're going to find it, but too late.
Oh, they run out of range. Rip. There was no flares in that cluster there. I believe ANS is going to take
Looked like it was just a Wake trail existing behind, so a little
bit
targeting error.
MMT's out of missiles, and just with a single gun, it's not going to be able to kill that thing in time.
Single gun will collect that. Same time, though, 3 cap for the OSP right now. ANS sitting 752 points on B and C. OSP tried to push up. G-Slayer lost a liner for it. OSP still looking pretty good in the capital department. ANS has been degraded decently well.
G-Slayer mag down in the center of the map by their on their liner. The battleship's getting a really nasty cross shot on it, although now
both magazines taking a hit.
Surazal has pushed out into a very bad position here under crossfire from the Acello at close range to the monitors. They greeted for this damage into this liner. ANS is taking E. Whoa. ANS steps onto E point. There's not a whole lot here to deny it. There is the
Journeyman with his T20. It has enough health bar. It does not care about these RPF shots. You need more than that.
Will Cyclone Squadron also committing with the Wake missiles here, although Bastion has something to say about that. We will see if these cappers probably can't take the cap. No, that Journeyman's going to get onto the point in time, it looks like, as the
Wake missile's going to fire off, and once again, Wake Seeker does Wake Seeker things.
The drives are not active on that target, as that capper is going to be safe. We will see.
There's bomb attempts going on it. I like the tech of it, but not seeing it.
A defender. Honestly, I think that the play is definitely R2s for Light Strike on OSP carriers. You can see they're effectively the same price, and they are much more effective. Will ANS get E before this thing steps on? ANS takes E right before the carrier steps on the point. Unfortunate for
Cheeslayer forced to divert as they are repairing their liner. This liner, I don't believe, has secondary. No, actually, it does have some T20 secondaries.
The battleship
so
now
with its
in
guns active, it should be able to contribute to that cap war.
At A with the monitors. Is there any beamstone support? Yes, Pazuzu still has a beamstone flanking up. No fire orders yet. It is detected. Pazuzu needs to get that beam on target to support this BB against the monitor ball. There goes the fire order. That is within, what is that, 5-ish kilometers. That beamstone will have arc.
5 kilometers. Might go for the fighters first, depending on its priorities. We will see. Looks like it's locked onto a monitor. There's the
there goes the beam into it. Misses.
Oh, bad arc. No lock on those. It's going to swing wide.
No, it does have a lock. It just swung, and the monitors immediately pivot, recognizing that this is a threat. Pazuzu, without the battle sword, is this beamstone just going to get annihilated by the crossfire between the Acello and the
beamstone,
monitors.
I think, with its bullseye on the belly there, meant that the beam peeked out first, and it did not have the lock, so it fired early. Immediately retaliated on.
Pazuzu, unfortunately, going to lose that beamstone, probably. Although it does have a restore, which means that if it get back into cover, it can bring that back online. Did relieve a little bit of a pressure on the BB, although this BB is now pushing into a very disadvantageous position here. The other battleship now pushing over the top, looking to probably secure A here. All ANS has to do
holds a 3 cap and just has to for the next 170 points.
All ANS has to do now is play the delaying game. Cheeslayer committing onto E right now, trying to kill out these cappers to resecure the point here, although that is going to be their liner out of position. Ajax Squadron is hunting for that MMT on the C point there just to finish off the point. And look at this! Pazuzu still has a healthy gun capper flanking all the way around to Dagger. Nothing to stop the Dagger back cap if that thing gets there. Firestorm as well from Ambient Lamp with more torpedoes. Commits onto the Acellos, it looks like, in the center of the map. Trying to just
Torps will clean up C-side while that happens.
Yep, there goes the MMT as C is firmly within the hands of ANS right now. Also,
currently, OSP is behind decently far. ANS with this 3 cap, every second matters here, as OSP could, in theory, win with a 3 cap had they secured E point a little bit sooner. Unfortunately, just couldn't quite get there. Right. Now trying to clean up these cappers with T20s, and while it's going cripplingly slow, they will eventually get it. Said Comet Flight on return to base, going to get cleaned up by 20 mil here in a second. Ambient Lamp still able to keep that defender active.
Oh, it's maxed down.
Comet is
the 20 mil on the other one is on the drives down one, which doesn't have arc. It doesn't look like.
Just did for a second, but if they go for approach on the carrier, it will tap them on that landing pad.
RTB. That defender is still operational.
Oh, just barely gets the drive and reactor snipe on that to deny it.
No, the defender still has power. The defender still has power.
What? From where? There's Whiplash and reactor down.
Does it not show as power out? It should say yellow, right? Huh.
Interesting.
No, the reactor is down hot.
It says power missing for the other things, but not the defender.
Yeah.
I guess because the defender requires activation, so it doesn't try to draw. It has fire orders, so it says no power.
ANS now crossing 900 points here. Both battleships committing in a suicide play to hold the monitors at A, preventing them from going other places. Firestorm lying in wait by A,
on standby there, looking to get a strike through
one of the monitors. The monitors starting to get degraded in this close-range engagements. The battleships are severely damaged, but still holding in there. Nuke has sent one of their Acellos to C here. There is still a functional beamstone on C, though. We will see how that matchup plays out. Meanwhile,
B-cap being attempted here as one of these little capper shuttles will find its way on.
There are no secondary batteries on the carrier, but there is a gun capper in the area. Bike Ride is still in the area, which means that if the carrier is able to hold, that thing might be able to help. The Acello, though,
carrier with the arming missile will step onto B here for a second.
The Acello is committing onto Boxer, though, too. Okay, so late game, everyone is committing for the caps. Ajax, though,
OSP
torpedoes
will hold
out. Torpedoes out on the capper, though. Aurora's and
Pavis says no.
Locks in as Havoc Squadron is unable to get the deny there, although ANS will be able to hold Boxer for the time being with the carrier. ANS with the 3 cap still, about to be a 4 cap if they can secure Dagger right now. Nothing going to stop that Dagger attempt as Pazuzu's just going to flank around the map completely undetected. I think that ANS has this.
OSP is too far behind at this stage. ANS comfortable with the C cap will take this with 1 cap at this point. Decisive advantage held and maintained. OSP coming up with a slower comp here gets punished for it as ANS commits 3 of their Corvettes to an 8-point rush and then holds their ground with very good set of, what's that, 6 beam destroyers just to draw out the game.
Yeah, I think ANS has this one in the back. I don't think there's much that Protector can do. The only ships that they have are slow and confined to the places where they are. They're not going to be able to get to the points in time.
Point-blank torpedo dump from Ambient Lamp as they will find the Acello, actually, on that
Oh, they get
point.
hits. They get hits. What does that disable? Reactor overload, no crits, which means they'll be able to repair that. One gun down. Some of the reactors hit as well. That Acello is in definitely a worse situation than it was
Spyglass
before.
on that Acello. Just took a moment to look at it. Is the other
It's
one
probably
a Parallax? Yeah, Parallax.
Yeah, those were probably supposed to deploy together, but they split them up for this particular team comp here.
Makes sense. Battleships drift onto A to keep the game honest. 982 on the board. ANS comfortable with their victory. Very good play from both teams coming out here. I can't help but feel that
it's going to be retaken here as T-Slayer finishes up the last of the cappers, allowing for a retake there. You can see here, yep, OSP calling it GG.
GG call.
Pazuzu is detected heading for Dagger, and Protectorate knows that there's nothing they can really do about that.
Quinto found out by
Squadron.
torpedo bombers going towards C. Could be a strike in the rear section of the Silky Hobby.
That is drives down. Beamstone knows where it is, although, yeah, no, that's GG. As, collapse the
Interesting
Electron
attempts there from OSP, but I don't think they quite had it. Their aggression, they were a little hesitant, definitely wise when pushing into this much Beamstone. They gave up ACAP due to their lack of speed, did not have fighters available to R2 strike or size 1 wake strike the A point. Bit of an error there, I would say, giving up that ACAP, and it's very hard to dislodge from their 3 cap state.
Mav breaking the post-match thing with their ship names. Oh, Jesus.
Ooh, yep, that's,
Anyway.
Might want to log that one for
the deciding factor in
injects.
this one was definitely ANS's ability to get the initial cap lead and hold it. The aggressive play from the bomber half cap, the carrier half cap, was able to just annihilate those early cap assets from OSP, allowing ANS to gain the initial lead there. And the beamstones around the map discouraged OSP from pushing.
Take a look at those bombers there. 28, almost 29k pulled off of only 8 bombers. Very respectable strikes done.
This carrier is only 2k points. It's part of a half cap, and it does that much. You can see how effective this particular fleet comp or fleet type is if you know how to use it. The battleships also doing an exceptional job of just not dying. Despite getting flanked several times, these battleships are still relatively healthy into the late game here. Surzal still has all guns operational. Pazuzu did lose quite a lot of their capability there, but was still combat effective, forcing the monitors to stay at A here. The monitors, pretty indecisive in terms of their push there.
Monitors wanted to push up, but knew
that
beams existed, just never could quite get the confidence. They wanted to stay with their Acellos as well, but I feel OSP was a little hesitant. They needed something to can opener the ANS or deny them from that 3 cap state to begin with, and they just didn't have it. They tried to do their flank around, but got punished for it by going a little too close to the inside of the map.
Right.